What is happening, guys? Jason here again, back for another YouTube video. In today's video I'm going to talk to you guys about living in Hua Hin. I know you guys like these sort of videos. If you're interested in ever moving to Thailand, living in Thailand, you want to know what is the best place for you, what are the positives and negatives, well, I'm here to show you guys that today for Hua Hin. Now, Hua Hin, in my honest opinion, is absolutely one of the best places to live in Thailand, if not the best place to live in Thailand. For me, I enjoyed Hua Hin a lot. It is a great pace of life, very slow pace of life, but I really enjoyed Hua Hin. It is definitely a place to go to live if you are wanting to retire, if you just want a very chill, slow life. It is the perfect place, right near the beach, and you will not regret living in Hua Hin. There is absolutely, when I was looking at notes and writing my notes for this video, I was trying to find, some of the negatives about Hua Hin, and I was having a hard time trying to think of the negatives in Hua Hin because there's so many positives about living there. But and if you ask all the locals who live in Hua Hin as well, they'll probably say the same thing. So I was actually a little bit sad, leaving Hua Hin. I've actually moved out of Hua Hin now. I'm here in Udon Thani, but I was having a hard time. I was definitely feeling sad when I was about to leave Hua Hin. I actually haven't felt that way this year in Thailand. When I left Bangkok, when I left Pattaya, after I'd spent time living there in those places, I didn't feel that sad like I did in Hua Hin. Like, I felt like I was leaving home, you know what I mean? Like, that was sort of my home, and that's Hua Hin. I've spent the longest time in any place there. This year I've spent 3 months there in Hua Hin, so I feel like I am confident enough and I know enough about Hua Hin to suggest some things for you guys, and then go with the positives and negatives of living in Hua Hin. So I got some notes here on my phone, but I'll go through them now. Let's get stuck into this video. Alright, so I'll start off with the positives, of course. The beach, absolutely. Hua Hin is a beachside town, sleepy beachside town, but it is a beachside town nonetheless. The beach is perfect to go to relax. It isn't the clearest water in the world, but it is a beach nonetheless, man. It's obviously a lot cleaner than Pattaya, and it is definitely a place to go to relax and have fun with the family. Go for a bit of a swim in the morning. Definitely great for morning walks. I highly recommend Kaltakia Beach. If you guys haven't seen my video on Kaltakia Beach, I'll leave it up on the screen for you. You can check that out if you haven't already. Very clear water that day that I went, and it was just a beautiful day when I was there. Beautiful day, and it's a lovely, quiet beach as well. So Kaltakia I highly recommend. But of course Hua Hin as well. The Hua Hin beach itself stretches out. It's a long beach. It's not the longest in the world, but you could probably walk the most of Hua Hin beach in about an hour, I'd say. There's around the Hilton sort of area of Hua Hin, the Hilton Hotel, you've got a lot of people around there. They like to go around there, and there's a little bit of viewpoints around there, a lot of cafes, so it's a great place to go to chill out. But the beach, absolutely a positive for Hua Hin. The people, for me, Hua Hin has got some very friendly people. I would go as far as to say that the people in Hua Hin is probably the friendliest that I've come across in Thailand. It's very easy to make friends here, and the people here are so great. The locals here are very knowledgeable. They love to help out. They love to help out if you're a foreigner and you're new to Hua Hin like I was. Previously, before living in Hua Hin, I was only there for I think 3 or 4 days. So I was pretty much brand new to Hua Hin. I loved it so much that very first time that I wanted to go and spend some more time there, which I did. So I spent 3 months there, as I said. So but obviously I didn't really have any friends there. So that time, the start of the 3 months, I very quickly made friends, and I got to send a shout out to a lot of my friends in Hua Hin, man. You guys know who you are. Jin, who's my barber at the barber shop, man, she was great. Highly recommend, if you're in Hua Hin, go and check out Jin's barbershop on Soy 57. She's great. She does a great job, and I'm gonna miss her, man. She's the best barber, man. She always does perfect job, and I don't have to ask her what she wants. I don't have to ask her what I want, because she always knows. You know, she knows me enough by now. So she's great. What else there is? There's a nice little restaurant, Soy 94. Oh my god, they're gonna kill me for this. I don't actually remember the name of this restaurant. I know the owners, Dada and Ken. Ken's from Norway. He's got his Thai girlfriend there, Dada, and they've got their own little restaurant there. Very, very friendly and great family restaurant. If you're in Soy 94, it's just before the 7-Eleven. I think it's right next door to the Ojan restaurant, or the Ogden restaurant. It's like the Middle Eastern restaurant there. It's right next door to that. I think it's called Moom. I'm not 100% sure. I should have double checked it prior to starting this video, but I'll leave the name on the screen if I can do that as well. But yeah, Dada and Ken, shout out to you guys, man. Great people. They become very close friends whilst I was there in Hua Hin, so it was always a pleasure going there and visiting them. And you know, they introduced me to some people, some new friends there, so very, very easy to make friends in Hua Hin, you know, and I got so many great people to thank there. So yeah, absolutely loved my time in Hua Hin, and very friendly people. So some of the friendliest people you'll get to meet in Thailand, believe me. Now, of course, Hua Hin, as I mentioned, is a little bit of a sleepy beachside town. It's very quiet, not too crowded. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like crowded places like Bangkok and Pattaya, then you'll absolutely love Hua Hin. Very, very down to earth, very chill, and you'll have a great time in Hua Hin if you just want to take a leisurely stroll on the beach. You know, you don't want to be interrupted too much by too many people. Hua Hin's perfect place for that, man. You'll have a ball there, and yeah, it's just a perfect place to relax, so you won't have any problems. Accommodation is actually quite reasonable. Now, before COVID, I'm not sure, I can't really speak about that because I never actually had been to Hua Hin prior to COVID, but definitely recommend going to get some accommodation in Hua Hin during this time, during the COVID time. Very, very affordable accommodation that I've found just walking around the streets, finding some rooms. Very, very affordable considering it's so close to the beach. So I highly recommend checking that out as well. Now, one of my favorite shopping malls in all of Thailand, Market Village, man. Market Village, a very famous shopping mall in Hua Hin. Very well known for its amazing food court. I did mention this in one of my previous videos in Hua Hin. I'll leave it up on the screen if you haven't seen it already, but just a quick little look at that in that video. But they got a great little underground, not underground, but on the ground floor, very, very amazing street food sort of food court area. They have it in like a street food style food court, and you got lots of food there, lots of variety. It is so cheap, so affordable, and it's very good food, man. You'll have an absolutely amazing experience there, believe me. A lot of locals go and eat there, a lot of foreigners go to eat there. It's always busy, it's always packed from what I've found. But there's just some great food, man. You'll definitely not regret. You definitely won't regret going there and eating there. So highly recommend Market Village, man. It's not your typical you know, luxury big shopping mall like you'll get in Bangkok or Pattaya, but it is definitely it definitely has all you need. You know, it's got your shops, it's got your souvenirs, all those sort of things, man. So it's got all you need. You got your Tesco, Lotus, you know, pharmacies, that sort of thing. So Market Village is great, but my favorite part about Market Village is obviously the street food court on the basement floor. Highly recommend that if you're there in Hua Hin. As I touched on before, Hua Hin is a great place to retire. During some of my Hua Hin videos, I saw in some of the comments, a lot of you guys who have watched me, subscribed to me, you've planned on moving to Hua Hin, or you've already moved to Hua Hin, or you've retired in Hua Hin. A lot of you guys are watching me, and yeah, you've obviously made plans to retire here, and yeah, definitely seen a lot of people around the retirement age. They're definitely around Hua Hin, man. You definitely see a lot of them, and yeah, it's just an absolutely great place to retire. As I mentioned, it doesn't really need to be said again, because you're really close to the beach, you got everything you need, and it's not a busy sort of town, you know. It's just that even the Thai people love coming here on the weekends. If you're from Bangkok, they'll come to Hua Hin just for a weekend, you know. It's definitely the place, a good place to retire, and you've got lots of housing available. As I mentioned, the accommodation very affordable now during COVID, but you've got all these sort of empty houses around Hua Hin. I recommend checking out Johnny. Johnny, There's Something Happening. He's done a few videos on some of the Hua Hin accommodation houses that you could find there. So go check him out as well if you haven't already. But yeah, if you're looking for a house in Hua Hin, you're looking to settle down, Hua Hin is the best place for that, man. Highly recommend it. For me, the night markets, man, the night markets are amazing. You've got Chichata night market, you've got Hua Hin night market. One that I just recently found that I didn't do a video on, unfortunately, but I did go there two or three times, was Pai Mai markets. Pai Mai market, very good market. One of my favorite night markets in all of Thailand. Every time I go to a new city or a different place in Thailand, I always find one of these night markets that is always better than the next, you know. I had some in Bangkok, and then Pattaya, there was a great night market there. I can't remember actually the name of it, but I've done a video on that as well. But in Hua Hin, Pai Mai market was absolutely my favorite, man. You've got lots of food stalls, lots of people around, and the food is great, very cheap. And yeah, if you're into night markets, man, Hua Hin is a great place for that. I think this Pai Mai night market, I believe it's on every Tuesday night. I'm not sure if that will change after COVID, but every Tuesday night they've got the night market there at Pai Mai, so go and check that out. And finally, the food, man. The food is very affordable, very decent food that you would come to expect from a world-renowned tourist town like Hua Hin. Yeah, the food was surprisingly affordable. That's you know, if you check on Grab and Food Panda, those sort of things, you'll find the food is actually really affordable. In some instances, it's more cheaper than Bangkok, is what I found. So I really enjoyed that aspect, and the food is great value, and the delivery charge, especially on Food Panda, if you're into that sort of thing on Food Panda, I would absolutely recommend going to check that out, because the delivery sometimes is free, and because it's a small town, you know, they'll often deliver it for free, so you save on delivery fee, even though it's not that much originally. You might pay like 10-15 baht for delivery on Grab sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely save 15 baht, man. Save 15 baht, you know, every so often you'll save 15 baht here, 15 baht there, you know, it all adds up in the end. So yeah, definitely recommend the food, man. You won't have any problems. Some of my favorite choices in Hua Hin, I really enjoyed. There's a special dish on Food Panda. It was a Penang curry, and I can't eat spicy stuff, you know. I've mentioned that in one of my videos before. I can't eat spicy stuff, and I like my curry, because I like to eat curry. I just don't like it spicy. I can't eat it spicy. So when I asked for not spicy, a lot of the time I don't get it. I don't get it not spicy. It's always spicy. But this time, this restaurant in particular always served it up without any trouble. When I asked for not spicy, it was just how I liked it, you know. It was perfect. So I highly recommend. I'll leave the name of it. I don't actually know it again off the top of my head. Should have written it down before, but I'll leave the name on the screen for you for the restaurant that I recommend for the Penang curry. If you're into your curry, that sort of thing, it's great value, and very affordable too. I think it was like 79 baht for the Penang curry there. Very cheap and very good curry as well, so highly recommend. But the food overall, very good in my end. Alright, now the negatives. As I said before at the start, it was very hard to try and find some negatives about Hua Hin. It's very difficult, but if I will say something, again, this might not be a negative for some people. If you are the type of person that likes the slow life, that likes the quiet places, then you'll have absolutely no problems here. But if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you like vibrant big cities like Bangkok and Pattaya and those sort of places, then you might, you know, find your time in Hua Hin might not be as enjoyable. You might get bored very easily, especially during COVID, because of the restrictions that they had during that time I was there. I was there for 3 months. 2 of those months were all of them. Actually, no, all of them. All of the months the nightlife was pretty much closed. The restaurants were open for probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months of those 3 that I was there. But yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, it can get a little bit boring if you're, you know, one of those people that likes the nightlife, that likes to go around a lot, you know, go out, and they do have the nightlife, that sort of thing there, don't get me wrong, but you know, if you get bored quite easily, you might not have it as an enjoyable time in Hua Hin as you would think, especially if you're wanting to live here. Yeah, just something to consider. But I wouldn't call it a huge negative. It's just for those people who like to live in those vibrant big cities. You might find a little bit of boredom here in Hua Hin if you're into that sort of thing. And as I mentioned before, the shopping malls, you're not going to get your big shopping malls like in Bangkok and Pattaya. You're not going to get your luxury, huge, mega shopping malls like you do in Bangkok, as I said. So you have your Market Village, you have your Blue Port. Those are the two main shopping malls in the Hua Hin general area. They're good enough, they're sufficient enough, don't get me wrong, but again, if you want that just huge variety, you go to a shopping mall and you want to expect everything under the sun, then you might have a little bit of trouble in Hua Hin. Again, it's not a huge negative, but again, if you want like everything under the sun, you want to go to you want to get your luxury designer shops, you know all that. You want to go to the central department store. You're not going to find that in Hua Hin. So it's just something to think about there. But again, not a huge negative. And finally, again, this is also not a huge negative, but I thought I'd throw this in there. If you are a single guy and you're the bachelor type, you like to play the field, so to speak. Hua Hin obviously is a small town, so you will probably have a little bit of trouble if you're into playing the field. You might get caught out a few times. Just something to consider. I've heard of a few stories about that. But Hua Hin is definitely a small town, so it's probably not ideal if you're a single guy who likes to play the field, or you're the bachelor type. So that's something to consider if you're used to playing the field and seeing all sorts of different women, that sort of thing. And not only for the guys but for the girls as well. No worries about that. So it's just Hua Hin, obviously being a small town, it's great, but it has some drawbacks if you're into playing the field, you know what I mean? So again, it's not for everyone about that. It's just something that I thought I'd raise for you single guys out there who are in the bachelor type thing. That's something to consider as well. But overall, guys, that is my thoughts on living in Hua Hin. As I said, overwhelmingly more positives than negatives. I would go as far as saying Hua Hin is the best place to live in Thailand. That is definitely what I found. And as I said, I was a little sad when I left Hua Hin because I actually really enjoyed living in Hua Hin. Yes, I did get a little bored towards the end of my time there, but I didn't take away from the fact that I'm still gonna miss Hua Hin, and I fully intend to go back there if I can, maybe when Hua Hin starts to open up again, because Thailand is starting to reopen now. I might talk about that a bit more in a future video, but Thailand is starting to reopen to international tourists more and more. So more and more provinces are starting to prepare to open up to that sort of market. But once Hua Hin starts to fully reopen, I very well will reconsider going there, and definitely see some of my friends there again. But I really enjoyed my time in Hua Hin, and if I was to absolutely recommend a place to live in Thailand that I found more or less so comfortable in is Hua Hin, man. I really had an amazing time there, and when I was there, I didn't really appreciate it as much as I thought. When I look back on it now, I just think that actually Hua Hin is amazing. You know what I mean? Like I really had a good time. And I'm a younger guy. I'm 25 years old, so I do like my vibrant cities like Bangkok and Pattaya. I always like those sort of places, but I did like the slow pace of life in Hua Hin. I really did. But again, it's something to consider moving to if you're of that old age. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but if you're getting towards the retirement age, then absolutely Hua Hin will be the best place for you if you're wanting to live there in Thailand. But overall, guys, that is my thoughts on Hua Hin. What do you guys think? Leave your positives and negatives of Hua Hin. If you have ever been to Hua Hin, leave your comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment. I'd love to hear them. I always love to see your comments related to these sort of videos. But I'll do more videos about living in Thailand and that sort of thing in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But that is my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos in the future, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos as well. And be sure to click the thumbs up button on this video. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm very, very grateful for your time. God is good. Let the journey continue.